I interviewed a fascinating person who grew up, he works at American University. He's a professor there of, I think, the international school. He, Mohammed, he grew up Palestinian in Israel, attended a Hebrew university, so he was a minority his whole life. And when we spoke on the phone, I realized what he and I do, even though he is actually going to places like Somalia, Rwanda, Sri Lanka, and working to create peace, negotiate peace deals, conflict resolution. What he does is a very similar practice. He goes inside himself and asks, how can I bring love to this situation? How can I embody it and feel it? Because the room in which I'm in is filled with people who have a lot of fear coming up, and it's coming up in how they dialogue, how their body language is with each other, throwing kind of past hurts at each other through words that can sometimes sound almost violent. And his main job, he says, in this is to embody peace with how he feels in his body, the words he uses, the compassion he feels for others, looking past the kind of the fear flying around in the room to the deeper love within each person, kind of a divine love within each person, and seeing that commonality and starting from there. So when he shared that with me, I thought, well, that's exactly how I feel in working with clients who are, in this case, on a more individual level, battling addiction, or they're going through grief because they've lost a loved one. Their body has broken down because it has MS or something, and they're mad at their body, or feel very depressed because they don't have the same functionality. It's the same thing, allowing them to surface all the fears that are coming up, all the angst, all the negativity, and seeing through that to that beautiful, I'd call it a soul, but everyone's different on how they think about that. Seeing the beautiful soul in there who's learning a very powerful lesson and honoring that lesson and loving them. So is that possible on the world scale? Is peace possible on the world scale with this approach? It's probably the best approach, because peace starts with me. The more I feel it in myself, the more I can realize it outside of myself. If I don't bring that into situations where we're working for peace in the community, on a school board, or at a parent-teacher conference, then it's not going to happen if I'm not bringing it.